So this video is kind of a continuation of last video where I talked a little bit, but I didn't really get into detail about how feminism is good for men as well. And part of the reason I didn't get into that is because it was already a really long video, and I really just want to focus on the stereotypes that negatively affect men, and kind of in particular why in turn homophobia is such a big thing. Men have all kinds of things that all kinds of stereotypes, all kinds of images that they have to live up to. To be seen as unmanly is a horrible, bad thing. I mean, the biggest insult you can give a guy is that he's like a girl, and in any way or shape or form throws like a girl, or he's a pussy, or just anything along those lines. Like, from the very moment our parents found out our gender, we were put into these little tiny boxes, and their expectations were built from those boxes. So for instance, if you were a girl, if the doctor said you were a girl, then maybe your parents start to think about ballet lessons and pink toys and frilly dresses and cute things like that. But if the doctors told your parents that you were a boy, then immediately they thought of toy trucks and baseball, and these are really stereotypical things I'm throwing out here, but just stay with me. I mean, it's a natural reaction to imagine how your child's going to grow up, but a little too often, I think, we find out the gender of our child, and we start making snap decisions, snap judgments based on that. We start thinking about how we're going to raise them because they're a girl or because they're a boy. Anything, for boys, anything girly is bad. I watched this one really adorable video about this little boy who, actually these twin boys, and keep in mind these boys were like 6. They shared a room, but there was a drastic difference from each side of the room. And if I can find the video, then I'll post it in the description. Hopefully I can't find it. But on one side you see blues and like, I wish I could remember exactly, but boy stuff. And on the other side it's pink, and there are butterflies on his bedspread, and it's really frilly and girly, and he has his nails painted because he likes to paint his nails, because he likes the way it looks. And typically that's something, that kind of kid is someone who would be picked on at school or by their parents, because that does happen. Kids are, I mean, you should know, remembering your parents, it may not have been a gender thing, but your parents did pressure you to do certain things, and that's, I think parents kind of see that as their job, kind of to move you in the right direction, and some parents are very particular about gender stereotypes, and so from a very young age, most little boys are kind of pushed in the direction of, hey, don't you like this better than this? And I think that starts to build a kind of idea that anything girly is wrong and is weak. And so as these kids grow up, as these little boys grow up, they also learn that gay guys are feminine and are weak, and we start to, and girls, kids in general do this. They start to stereotype. They see a guy with a particularly effeminate voice, or they are well-dressed, or well-dressed in the sense of fashion, not in the sense of suits, and they automatically assume that that person is gay. And I know people who do this too, and even if they're just joking, whenever they see someone on a TV or something, whenever we're watching a TV show, they see someone who is very particular Maybe they're very particular about their car, and they like to keep it nice and clean and won't let anyone borrow it. And that's kind of a weird thing, but you hear him, you hear this man talk about these things, and you think, oh, he's gay, even if he's not. And I think part of that, I think the sorry. I think when it comes to these stereotypes, that's why. So when these boys start to grow up and they start seeing these other boys that aren't like them, they're more effeminate, they like more feminine things, they see them as weak and as inferior, and maybe they don't pick on them, but maybe they do. Maybe they're that kind of kid because that's how their parents were. And I think that's where homophobia stems from. And if we didn't have these stereotypes, if we didn't raise our kids a particular way because of a particular gender, I don't think that these stresses that guys go through would be so bad. Even if the kid's not gay, even if he just likes something different, if he likes something that he perceives as girly, he might hide that fact about himself, and it stops him from being who he truly is. That's what stereotypes do if you believe them. They stop you from being who you truly are. And I think that's dumb. I think it sucks, and I think that's something I know a lot of other people agree with me that it's something that should be fixed. This isn't something we have to live by. There's not some unwritten law that says we can't do this or we can't do that. It's just the way we think. And I think if the next generation raises their kids with a more open mind than the last generation has, that eventually we can overcome these stupid stereotypes, these stupid rules about who we can and can't be. That's all for me. I'll see you next time.